Hey boys, welcome back to some more Brisbane Broncos Throwback Career 2006, and we're going to be taking on the Bulldogs in round 2. We did finish, or not finish, we did lose the last match. It wasn't, in attack we were pretty clunky, too many errors. The Panthers, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we didn't get blown out, they only scored a couple of tries, but yeah, it wasn't our best performance, but there's some good signs going forward. I'm not sweating that first game too badly. I think there's a lot of improvement, and I mean the quality of this team. Look at that. Look at the freaking backline, dude. The Haas, Darren Lockyer, Shane Perry. Look at the forward pack though. Seven Seaver, Webke, Thaiday, Parker, Brad, Thorne, and then the bench. Hennett, Carroll probably, he would have been starting lock for sure, and Parker would have been on the bench, but, and I love Tony Carroll, honestly. He was, boy oh boy, he was great to watch. Honestly, he's not really respected as one of the best hitters in the game, but geez, he could hit blokes. And it wasn't, I guess back then, he wasn't a shoulder charger, he was a classical tackler. He was like a Jake Trebojevic type, but harder, honestly. He freaking rocked blokes. He was an absolute monster. And even when I still remember, he made that like, this was ages ago as well. It doesn't feel that long ago, but when Tony Carroll like made a comeback, when the Broncos were like really on struggle street, I don't really know why. I can't really remember why it happened, as Darren Lockyer puts in a beautiful kick. It was unfortunate not to get the bounce for the 40-20, but still good possession game, or territory game for that matter. But yeah, I can't really remember. I don't know if it was like injuries or suspensions. It's strange to me that he did, but even when he did make like his comeback, he hadn't played for a few seasons. I think, honestly, it's a bit blurry as to like how long ago he retired from that and then he came back. But he was pretty solid when he actually when he came back and played. But as Darius Boyd out of dummy half just saw a player getting back in the defensive line and took off. I mean, this is when Darius Boyd was pretty good. He was a pretty good player. I know he cops a lot. He cops a hell of a lot, and to be honest, does he deserve it? I mean, I think every player that gets paid a substantial amount of money, they all deserve to get criticism if they're not playing well. As Brent Tate, oh my god, I preemptively passed it because there's so many times where I try to take them on the outside and they'll just push me over the sideline. So I preemptively passed it. Otherwise, we would have scored with Tatey tiptoeing down the sideline. Very, very unfortunate. That was a killer right there, as the Bulldogs are going to get first real opportunity to put in an attacking kick with Kieran Foran here. Pretty well placed bomb, but Carmichael pretty good under the air, and he's going to take that one. But yeah, like I was saying, every high paid player and every player in the league deserves to get criticism or praise if they play good or bad. Like, it can't just be all good. As who was that again? Darius Boyd. He's having a stellar game so far. Or was that Berrigan? It might have been Sean Berrigan down the sideline there. He's spreading it left here. Beautiful ball. Or if we could have just got that pass away to Hodges, he could have gone himself, or Brent Tate would have been in for another one. But last play here, it's going to go back to Lockyer to put up a towering bomb. It's going to be Casey Maguire. He's not quite going to get there. A little bit too deep. Didn't have the 20 meter, or did have the 20 meter tap back then, but it wasn't a zero tackle. So kicking it dead or on the full wasn't too bad. As Hodges now, his trademark run out of dummy half, and it's going to be the second try, and fairly similar, just a run out of dummy half. Hodges, I mean, I've talked about it before, but just the absolute best exponent of a dummy half run you'll ever see. A couple of modern guys who were good. I mean, Rapana was always very good. Joey Leilua was very good out of dummy half when he actually runs it. There's some good ones, but none of them even come close to Hodges. Hodges, he didn't need to have a quick play the ball or anything. When he ran, he just beat that first tackler. It was ridiculous. But yeah, if I can finish my point, they cop a lot. They get a lot of praise. They get a lot of accolades. But if they're not playing well and they're on big money, they deserve the criticism. A lot of people do go over the top with criticism, and it can be a little bit ridiculous. Brent Tate is going to score a beauty. Just quick hands from Justin Hodges. As good as he is a ball runner, Hodges, a bit underrated is his ability to pass. He is a very, very silky passer of the footy. He's got very good hands, very quick hands, very, very good. As Brent Tate scores our third try. And this is what I'm talking about, dude. The level of the talent, the skill of this team. I wasn't worried losing that first match. But yeah, people go over the top. But, Darius Boyd, if he can do a job for forever, however long he's going to play, is Josh Jackson. I tried to change to Carmichael and I couldn't. I must have been pressing the wrong way because he didn't go, and then I couldn't make up the ground. So the doggies get their first try in a bit of silly scenes right there. A bit of a soft one for sure. If he can do a job, Carmichael. Darius Boyd. He's been a great player for a long time. I know some people are acting like he's played too long, and he may have played a season too long, but he's still getting paid for one. And I don't buy into that it tarnishes his image. Like, he's been a great player, he'll always be a great player of the past. So, whether or not I think he should have retired, or whether or not anyone else thinks he should have, he's still getting paid. The Broncos gave him the contract, so he shouldn't have to he shouldn't have to give it up, really. That's on the Bronx management right there. And yeah, like, the main point of this is back in the era when he was coming through as like a bit of a star on the wing for sure. As the Dogs get a kick up here. Christian Crine comes down with a bit of a handover. So this game is petering out to be a bit of an easy affair. Still 12 minutes to go. It's not completely done and dusted for us, but it's looking pretty good as Brent Tate is at an outstanding game. Gets a pass away. It's Big Petro back on the inside of Casey Maguire, and he is going to score the 4th try for us in this game. That was a great little try. Brent Tate just crabbing across field, looking for a runner. Big Petro, always reliable. Whenever you need a tough run, he's always going to be there. Gets through the gap. Beautiful ball back to Casey Maguire. Like all dummy halves should be, just backing up the middle, and scores a excellent try as Carmichael is taking the kicks. Unfortunately, obviously I have to sub Corey Parker off, and it just gives Carmichael the kicking. Obviously, probably Darren Lockyer would take the goal kicking, even though he didn't like goal kicking. He was pretty decent, old Lockyer, but the game just I think the game just gives it to the highest rated kicker. So I guess Carmichael is the highest rated goal kicker, or the second behind Parker. So that's why Carmichael is kicking. I don't think you can change the second string goal kicker, so it doesn't really matter. That's the only reason for it is Hodges out of dummy half, saw a player wasn't there and tried to take on the fullback, gets bundled into touch that time. If there's one thing, Hodges, he's not the absolute quickest over 100 meters. He's sharp. He is quicker than what he looks. He's got like very long loping strides. He is quicker than what he looks like he's running, but definitely not one of the absolute speedsters in the game. But that is going to be a very solid victory, 22-8. 22-6, I should say. Hodges man of the match. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.